Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the 7th episode of our special series, MilSpouses Moving Houses, brought to you by MustWants. We really appreciate you tuning in. And hey, if you find these helpful, we'd love it if you could leave us a quick review on Spotify, YouTube, or, wherever you listen. Today, we are definitely diving into some major news. It's hitting families right in the middle of PCS season. We're talking about that headline, Pentagon cancels multi-billion-dollar household goods moving contract. It sounds, well, pretty complicated. So our mission today is to cut through the noise a bit, figure out what happened, and really what it means for you and your families, especially if you're navigating a move this summer.
Absolutely. Yeah, this isn't just some policy change on paper. It directly affects, hundreds of thousands of military families moving every year, often under really tight timelines. So let's get right into the details of this pretty big announcement.
Okay, let's break it down. The Department of Defense, the DoD, they officially canceled the global household goods contract, the GHC, with a company called HomeSafe Alliance.
Yeah.
Now, this was supposed to be a huge multi-billion-dollar thing, but the Pentagon terminated it for cause. So what really went wrong here?
Well, what's kind of shocking is just how badly it failed. The DoD was very clear. They cited HomeSafe's inability to fulfill their obligations and deliver high-quality moves. That's pretty direct. This contract, it was meant to make things better, more efficient, right?
Yeah.
But instead, it was just plagued with delays, poor management, and honestly, some basic structural problems. We're hearing that over half the moves they tried under GHC basically failed.
Half. Wow.
Yeah, missed appointments, lost items, just terrible communication for thousands of families caught in the middle.
That sounds like an absolute nightmare. So why? Why did it fail so spectacularly? What were the core issues?
That's the key question, isn't it? It points to some deeper, maybe systemic issues. A really big one was this very rigid, all-employee labor model they insisted on. And that model, unfortunately, it shut out independent owner-operators.
The smaller movers, the local guys?
Exactly. They're often the backbone, especially for nimble local moves. So trying to force everything into one rigid, centralized system, it just kind of choked the process. It created bottlenecks instead of flow. And then there was the money aspect.
Okay.
The contract rates they offered were like 30 to 50% less than the old system.
Seriously, less.
Yeah. So predictably, a lot of good, reputable moving companies just said, no thanks, we can't operate at that rate. They opted out.
Leaving fewer, maybe less experienced options for families.
Precisely. Plus, there seemed to be a real lack of clear accountability. In the old system, companies could get suspended for messing up. That wasn't as clear here. And the downstream effect. Some families felt forced into doing a personally procured move, a PPM.
Doing it themselves, basically.
Right. But under GHC, the reimbursement rates for those PPMs were slashed, often thousands less than what it actually cost families.
So families were penalized financially for trying to solve the problem themselves when the system failed, though.
That's pretty much it. It pushed a lot of people into real financial strain.
Okay, you've painted a very clear and, frankly, pretty concerning picture of the GHC failure. So, for families listening right now, maybe packing boxes as we speak, what's the immediate solution? What's happening now this summer?
Okay, the immediate news is that military moves are going back to the old system. It's called the tender for service contracts. That's the legacy system.
The legacy system. So back to what was before GHC.
Essentially, yes. The DoD will be contracting directly with a whole network of different approved moving companies like they used to, not through one single giant contractor. It's a return to a more decentralized approach. Should feel more familiar to many. Also, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, he's appointed Major General Lance Curtis to lead a new PCS Joint Task Force.
A task force. Okay.
Yeah, with full authority to make immediate fixes and, importantly, come up with broader reform ideas by early September. September 5th is the deadline. And, connecting this to the bigger picture, advocates like Megan Harless, the National Military Family Association, they're really pushing for lasting changes now.
What kind of changes?
Things like protecting those PPM reimbursement rates, making sure they actually cover the real costs, bringing back proper military oversight for PTMs, more transparency, and, real accountability for contractors. The goal really is to get a system that truly supports military families who, let's face it, don't choose when or where they have to move.
Okay, so there's an immediate shift back and a task force looking at longer-term fixes. But still, with all this uncertainty, going back to the old system maybe with short notice, managing a PCS is always stressful. How can listeners, especially military spouses juggling everything, use tools like MustWants to maybe ease some of that stress this summer?
Yeah, this is exactly where MustWants can really help. Because it was built by mill families for mill families, they get it. With the system shifting back, families might feel a bit more adrift, figuring out new locations, coordinating things. MustWants helps simplify that whole home search part. It gives you access to real estate pros who are vetted, who understand military moves, and you get real-time collaboration tools like with lenders. You and your partner can rank homes together, see where your priorities align, or maybe where they differ.
That collaborative part sounds really useful.
It is. And then there are the data maps. You can layer information onto neighborhood schools, crime rates, walkability, even things like FEMA flood risks. It helps you make informed decisions confidently, which cuts down on that stress, especially when things feel uncertain like now.
That makes a lot of sense. This whole contract cancellation, it's huge news. But like you said, it really underscores the ongoing hurdles military families face. What really stand out is, well, the resilience of our community, but also how badly we need systems that are transparent and genuinely supportive. Systems that put families first.
Absolutely. And maybe the thought to leave with for you listening is this. Okay, the immediate GHC crisis is being handled, they're reverting the system, but what broader lasting changes are really needed? How do we make sure military families aren't treated like, well, pawns in some big bureaucratic experiment ever again? How do we use these lessons to build a moving future that's actually stable and supportive?
That's a really powerful question to consider. Well, thank you for joining us for this really crucial deep dive today. We sincerely hope this gives you a bit more clarity, maybe a little more confidence as you navigate your summer PCS. For more resources and to check out those tools we mentioned to simplify your next move, head over to MustWants.com or you can download the app. We'll definitely keep you updated as more news unfolds about the future military moves. Beyond just this, Pentagon cancels multi-billion-dollar household goods moving contract story. See you next time.